Hi, I'm Megan Dialogue.
Hi, I'm Kenzie Merja, and today we just wanted to answer a few questions that we've been asked about deaf values and clear up a few of those points for you.
Alright, so the first question that we have today is, do the deaf value the schools for the deaf? The answer is yes, they do. Many deaf love their school for the deaf that they attended, and they would defend them till the end.
What do the deaf value more, their hands or their eyes? Deaf value their eyes more because they are visual people. They use vision as their primary sense to gain information. So whereas we can sit and listen, they sit and watch.
Do the deaf wish they were hearing? And many would think that the answer would be yes, when in fact most big D deaf people would say no. They love being deaf and they take pride in being deaf, and they love being a part of the community and culture. And being deaf is what shaped them into the person that they are today, so they wouldn't change that if they could. Whereas on the other hand, little D deaf people don't value being deaf as much, and if they were given a choice, they would probably choose to be hearing.
Yeah, definitely. The big D deaf tend to have a few different values of culture and tradition and their deaf identity, and the little D deaf just don't value all of those things, and they don't value their deaf identity, and they would choose to be hearing because they don't have that deaf identity.
And do the deaf value deaf clubs? And they do. The deaf club is a place where they can go to escape the hearing world for a little while and be surrounded by people who are like them and who understand them and who can communicate with them. And it is a popular place to go for a social interaction.
So, do all big D deaf value ASL? The answer is yes, they do. Big D deaf values ASL because it's their language and a part of their history and their culture, and it's dying and they're not very happy about that, so they'll do anything to keep it alive.
Right. And would the deaf parents rather have a hearing child or a deaf child? And they would prefer having a deaf child because they would be able to provide full communication for the child, and they'd be able to pass on their culture and traditions, which are very important to them, and then in turn their child would be able to pass on the culture and traditions and language as well. So that would be very important to them.
That's good. Do the deaf care about eye contact? Yes, they do. Eye contact is imperative to the deaf. It signals attention or inattention. Communication cannot start without eye contact. Eye contact says, hey, I want to talk to you, or I have something to say. And if you look away, it says, I'm done with the conversation, or I'm bored.
Right. Would big D deaf people get a cochlear implant if they could? And most adults would not, since they wouldn't change being deaf if they could. Deaf is what made them the person they are today. But they think if you are going to implant, it would be better to implant at a young age, or if someone had a sudden hearing loss when they were older.
Does the deaf community value a low-context, individualistic culture? The answer to that question is no, they do not. The deaf community is a high-context culture, which just means that they tend to value collectivism and the group in general. Deaf people typically enjoy being with other deaf people, and they're a very close and tight-knit community, and so they do not typically value the individualistic mindset of me.
Right. And why are the deaf so blunt? And this is because the deaf value directness and clear communication. They love being detailed in what they say, and they love having specific information. And they're very typically open with their feelings and their thoughts about anything.
Yeah, definitely. So that's all that we have for today. We hope that we cleared up a few points and gave you some more information and a better understanding of what the deaf community values. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.